welcome to my podcast. This is my first podcast, and I thought there'd be no one better than my sweet brother Trey, my best bud since birth, to be here. It is special.
It is special.
I'm really excited about this. I've been contemplating doing this for a very, very long time, and but I thought it'd be a great way to start. And if you're admiring our set here, we appreciate that.
You did this all by yourself.
Yes.
We got water bottles if you need them.
Yeah, you got to have water when you're doing a podcast.
It's our first sponsor, Kirkland's.
Yeah, Kirkland is our first sponsor. So yes, and we thought it would be appropriate to put the logo of the brand.
They actually did a pretty good job.
Well,
Scott is an artist.
I actually am an artist. I wanted to write comic books and do the art for comic books as a kid. You actually were pretty decent. We both did, yeah. Yeah, we both did. I actually just saw a bunch of stuff that we did as little kids. We were pretty talented.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, so this is it. Like, game time. I'm really excited about this. But Trey's going to interview me. We thought that would be...
I'm your first guest that's going to be interviewing you.
Yeah, but I think that we should ask a couple questions to you to kick things off. So,
I like that.
Trey, what are you up to these days? Tell us.
Just focusing on being a dad and doing some music here and there and some film stuff is the main gig. And then I always like to invest in things that make sense.
Yes, Trey is actually, if you look at him, you wouldn't think that he'd be an incredibly wise investor, but he is a very good investor.
I'm a simple-minded dude.
He really is.
It's my greatest strength.
Yes, he's made a lot of wise decisions when it comes to investment. And maybe we can have him on another podcast to discuss some of the different wise investments that he's made. Okay. Anyway, but Trey, just to tell you a little bit about this guy, he was meant to be on the big screen. For those of you that know Trey and I, we are very different and very similar in many cases, but there's one thing that stands true about Trey is he is a performer. You are a performer. Trey's probably the most talented person I know.
Oh, thank you.
I won't tell him that very often, if at all ever again, because his head gets bigger, and his head is massive.
It is. I'm still waiting for my body to grow into my head.
Yeah.
I would win Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, in high school, Trey had to have a helmet, a football helmet imported from a different country to make sure it fit his head appropriately.
I don't know if it was a different country.
Yes.
I was in middle school and they had to bring in like a college
high school kid or college,
something.
Yeah.
It was really awesome.
He wears like a size 9 if you know hat sizes. Anyway, so but Trey's a great father, one of the best fathers out there. He's got 3 beautiful daughters, my nieces.
Thank you.
They are, how old are they?
We got a 12, an 8, and a 7. 7 going on 42. I call her Babushka, grandma in Russian.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite part about being a father? And then I'll go into another question.
Man, I think we all thought I was going to have boys, right? And I thought I was going to have boys, and that's not what God had in store for me. So I think just being able to raise daughters in a place it's very foreign to me. But now if they said, hey, you have to have another kid, would you have a boy or a girl? I'd say a girl in 2 seconds. I think just being able to better understand the female, the feminine side of things, I think has been quite the awesome trip for me. And just spending time and developing a strong woman it has been such a huge blessing to me. And as they get older, it's like you're just making these long-term best friends. And I've been studying a lot on parenting and understanding. I just read Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, which has been incredible. So any parent, I really recommend people learning how to understand their children. And it's been a blast. It has been hard, but just forming a strong bond. I believe the father connecting with the child, even like a boy, is a huge deal. And I'm learning more and more of that, and just a lot of just empirical evidence showing that the parents, we are a huge deal to these kids. Yeah. So I've loved that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What's the most challenging thing about raising little girls? And they're not teenagers yet. I heard that it's tough to raise teenage girls.
Dude, this morning was a hard one. I have a daughter that's going through puberty, and that is a very foreign world to me.
Isn't
like,
wait, is Indy, how old is Indy?
She's 12. I mean, I started when I was a young buck myself, like puberty. And
Is it? I thought girls' puberty is 12. I thought it was like 13, 14.
Oh no, I mean,
We got Michelle back
whatever
there. She's
it is.
nodding
It's
her
like
head.
the thing that's interesting is it's like she will be the coolest cat on earth, and then literally it's like, and I'm just like, she made me cry. Like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. I mean, she was just this princess, and all of a sudden something just triggered, and then I'm just like, she's saying stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and I had to walk out. And then later on that night, we're talking. I said, yeah, so today was tough, you know? And then she goes, Dad, sometimes I get so angry, and I don't know how to control myself. And I'm like, yeah, you don't say. So that's like understanding that. And if I don't understand something, I will go to the depths of whatever to figure it out.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something I love and it's very near and dear to me, and my daughters are. So it's like that's new for me, because I'm kind of like, you know, if you and I did something dumb, it's going to get physical. And you can't. I'm not going to do that with my daughter. I have to like kind of like,
It's different.
please, I beg of you to get up. But I'm like, if you're a boy, it would be a different situation, because that's all I know.
Yeah, it's different.
Right?
It's
it was just us boys.
Yeah, we had one sister, but we were all boys. Do you ever recall a beating that I received as a child based on?
Yeah, you were in fetal position. Dad was just kicking you, and
why did he do that, Trey?
I don't know if we want to talk about it.
No,
on
you don't need to
camera.
tell him about the details, but I'll just tell you. Trey went and tattled on me about something that was stupid.
It was extremely stupid.
Yeah,
and
but
I
there was
did
no
the right
reason
thing.
to-
I didn't know Dad was going to go like Rodney King on you. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that, because he got it way worse. But it was like you were.
No, I was Rodney King, and he was the police officer.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember I was like, Dad, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was crying.
It was a great learning experience for me. Yeah, I actually have one daughter, and she is a teenager, and I love her, bless her heart. And I think it's interesting years, the teenage years for a young lady, and especially in the world that we live in today. I think personally, I mean, we all have our things, but little girls with social media these days, the pressure that they feel,
I think about it all the time.
it's on another level. It's on another level. Anyway, yeah, so Trey, thanks for being on here with me. Now it's your turn to interview me.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I have a few things written myself. I'm very studious. Got a 17 on my ACT.
That's not a joke. That is not a joke.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Luckily, I did well on geometry. That's the thing that saved me. Like, everything else was way in the back, but geometry saved me.
That's a lie.
So the first thing I want to get serious, and thank you for your kind words.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh. How's your cereal intake?
It's good.
You make goals all the time. I don't know how well you follow through with them.
Well, what is a goal? I mean, the goal could be the number of bowls of cereal I eat before I go to bed.
Just so you know, in the Warner home back in the day, it was not uncommon in the very late hours of the night or the early AMs, you would see 1, 2, 3 Warner boys congregating and not talking, but just eating cereal.
I can still hear Dad slurping.
Oh, yeah. I can't take a bite without having milk go down my face.
Yes.
Even still. Anyway, so
That's
like
great.
how many?
I'm trying to be better about it. I actually eat way too much cereal, and I think it's actually taking a toll on me because I've hit the wonderful age of 40. And
It affects my sleep. I have the same problem.
yeah,
I'm
so
just curious how.
But I love cereal. It is my guilty pleasure, and
And
you
your
know
favorite
the thing.
is what?
Oh, I've got a top 50, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch is my number one. And I now have a number 2 as of yesterday. Took a lot of time to get there because it left the shelves for a couple years. The Cinnabon cereal is mind-blowing. It just returned. I bought 10 boxes on Amazon yesterday.
I think that's a good like post-workout meal. You know, get the quick, fast-acting carbs.
Yeah. Yeah, actually Crumble's the way to go. Right? Crumble?
I do like Crumble.
We just launched a campaign with Crumble, and it was actually a lot of fun, but it was how do Crumble cookies fuel your workout?
Well, we talked about this without even. I have no sponsor with Crumble, but it's like I will eat Crumble post when somebody like delivers it. I'm going, this is post workout.
That's an unpaid ad. We should have a Crumble box right here rather than Kirkland water.
Yeah,
but yes, but I'm trying to Yeah, I love cereal. It's great.
Okay. Here's a question I love to ask people. If money were no object, like you've got everything you need, what do you see yourself doing regularly?
Ooh, that's a good one. Spending time with the family, traveling with the family, just anything family related. I think I'd spend more time, improving my coaching skills. I love coaching I coach my boys, football, baseball, having a lot of fun with that. So I always want to try and be the best that I can with that. So probably traveling more to play sports or coach my kids' sports. I love helping people. Maybe if I had more time for some service-oriented matters, and I would go to every sporting event that I could possibly get to. That's what I'd do if I had a lot of money.
One thing about you, Scott, that I do know is you would never want to do anything fun without loved ones. You like to share moments with friends and family. It's very important with you.
That is true. Thank you.
I was thinking, like, if you wanted to put Scott in hell, you could give him everything he wanted, but if you took away relationships, you would die.
Yeah.
You would suffocate.
Well, the truth is I kind of dealt with that in 2020, probably the hardest year of my life.
Yeah.
So I felt it. I felt that. So yes, those are kind words as well. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. You love people. And one thing about Scott, though, that's funny, who was I talking to about? I was talking to a buddy of ours. We were talking about there was nobody faster at connecting with people than you. I don't know anybody. Like, doing door-to-door or whatever. Scott has this, like, innate ability of people feeling, like, safe and secure with the quickness, where my look is, I didn't have that. I had to, like, do some joke or I don't know. It's just Scott just had this, like, vibe or spirit about him where they're just like, I'll tell you everything. Anything. You're my best friend. I don't even know you. You're my best friend. Where with me, it's kind of like, well, it's like I was known as the mean Warner because I was being compared to you, or I'm the absolute dirty mess because I'm being compared.
True story. Thank you, Trey, for the kind words. When I asked Mikkel to marry me, she was dancing for the Cougarettes, their big-time national championship team, dance team at Brigham Young. And when she came back to report to all the girls on her team that she had gotten engaged, and the word Warner came up, one of the dancers went to high school with one of us. Do you know the story?
I don't know which one it was, but I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, so one of the girls goes, well, which Warner was it? Was it Scott or was it Trey? Or is it Trey? She goes, Scott. She goes, okay, good. The other one's a...
No, I think. Well, according to Mikkel, I was like, she said, is it the mean Warner or the nice Warner?
Yeah, one of those.
She goes,
well, that's the same thing.
It's Scott. And then she goes, okay, you're okay.
Yeah, but then Mikkel...
So that's how Mikkel was introduced to me.
Well, she knows you.
She wasn't a fan out the gate.
Well, there's
and
a reason
I
for that.
Broke your kid's neck. Chase.
Yeah, another true story. Trey decided to take our infant son Chase and throw him up in the air at Disneyland.
Because
he just forgot that there was a wooden beam, and chucked Chase right into the wooden beam, hit him directly in the head.
And I was already just not totally batting 1,000 with Mikkel at the same time.
So
or at the time, and
yeah.
it put me a few steps or miles behind.
Chase was able to recover. He was cross-eyed for 3 days straight, and but it ended up okay.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Yeah.
So
anyway, but Trey, yeah, in his defense, he is a sweetheart, and he got mislabeled a few times back in the day.
You were a lot better at, like, holding a girlfriend. I think that's what helped.
I did not have many girlfriends.
I know that, but you stayed true to one. I didn't have a girlfriend last longer than 2 days.
And there's a reason for that. But that's okay.
It was my choice.
Yes, that was your choice. Next question.
Research anybody.
Next question.
Okay. So 3 places in the world. 2 to 3 places anywhere in the world. Money is no object. Where are you living?
Maui. I love Maui.
Yeah.
I love St. George. I've had a great, I have a great new love for St. George.
It is quite beautiful.
It is, and that's where my sweet wife was raised up. And
by the way, Mikkel and I are very tight homies now.
Yes. You
So,
have won
sorry,
her
back
over,
to
but
St.
for
George.
years she couldn't stand you.
I understand.
That's not true. I was kidding. And then probably I love Malibu, California.
We're Huntington Beach boys.
Yes, Huntington Beach boys.
Malibu, though.
Those would be my places probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Del Mar, Malibu.
All right. So you gave me a call and you said, Trey, I'm doing a podcast, and I kind of want to actually. We haven't even talked about this, so this is like raw. Why are you doing this now? What's the plan?
Yeah,
Why?
I have fought doing this for a very long time, just because I just didn't want to be a podcast guy. I feel like there's a lot of podcasts out there that are already kind of doing things and have established themselves. But and this is a shout out to you, Brett McCormick. Brett is kind of I guess an advisor to me, an incredible marketer, understands the space. He's been trying to get me to do this for a few years, just because I think I've been fortunate to work with some pretty amazing people that have awesome stories, and I enjoy people like you mentioned, and I think you can learn something from everyone, literally everyone, not just influencers or celebrities. Or there's something you can learn from anyone that you cross paths with. And I am fascinated by brand and people's brands, and both influencers' brands as well as company brands. There's a story behind everyone, and that's kind of gonna be what my focus is. Here at Gigg, we're about pushing passion and brand, and that's what's going to be the majority of my discussions in the podcast will be getting to know how someone built their brand and the story behind it.
It makes me think of some of the buddies, guys and girls, their personalities when they were younger, and then you see where they are right now, and it kind of makes sense. Like Cass Martin makes sense that she does what she does with dancing and Zumba. And just
Cass is great. We'll have her on.
Yeah. And it's like for you, it's like you are the relationship king. You value it very much, and I think Brett was wise for you to do this, because you are a highly connected individual. And something that I loved that you said is everyone is interesting.
Everyone.
And I think if people choose to put on that lens and find something interesting, something beautiful about a person, it makes life a lot more fun. I think
sure.
you do a good job where it's like you can connect quickly and just find something interesting. Because I literally think, I don't care how boring you think somebody is, there's a story. And it's fascinating.
Everyone.
If you choose to see it that way and feel that way, and it's a lot of fun. I know that's something Mom taught us, right?
Yeah, for sure.
She could talk with anybody. I'm like, I want to be like that.
For sure. And you talked about how I'm good at connecting with people. I mean, I think that we were kind of in a sense forced to learn how to connect with people. Have you ever done the math on how many high schools we went to?
I mean, not just high schools, schools.
Yeah.
We went to a lot of different schools.
From ninth grade to our senior year, seven high schools. So we moved around quite a bit for a number of reasons, but I think
if you had the junior highs as well, that's
even more.
It's a decent amount.
But I actually, while it was maybe hell at the time, I'm so grateful for it. If you look at our groups of friends that we were able to meet over the course of the years that we were all over the place, we were fortunate, and it also forced our hand to learn how to communicate.
We were also very blessed to have each other and have such a different dynamic. You and I never liked the same girl,
which is
and girls never. It's either you like the Abercrombie guy or the manly man.
Are you serious right now?
I mean, that's what I heard.
Abercrombie?
Yeah, you're more of like an Abercrombie, like a beautiful man. I was more of like, this guy could beat up a grizzly bear.
But I can't do that. I can't do that. Yeah.
I mean,
I see. Go ahead. Next question.
Yeah, but that was interesting.
Yeah.
We did have each other.
Yes.
And we also, I talk about this all the time. We had some humble beginnings, right? And from doing the paper out in the middle of the night, which is not a fun thing when you're a growing boy. And those are some of the best times of my life. Spray painting addresses on the curb.
Yeah.
We learned
to hustle young. We learned to hustle.
Yes. And we hustled wisely, I would say.
Yeah.
When these guys would be Todd, Dave, like they're going on and doing, what are they doing? Landscaping, all that jazz in the Phoenix sun. You and I are going, dude, let's just go out for an hour or two and spray paint addresses on the curb, and we'd make $40-$50 an hour back in the 90s, dude.
Yeah, we were
We
hustling.
sold candy bars.
Yeah.
It's just
Snack
like
Shack, Trey's
Yeah.
Trash. We did
Trey's trash. Yeah.
Yeah, paper out. And when he's saying paper out, yeah, we got up at 2 or 3 in the morning and folded newspapers.
You could smell it, dude.
Yeah.
The
yeah, on us
smell of the
forever.
ink, the rubber bands. You remember that one time when Dad took on, I think, 2 extra routes, and we're just like, Dad, but we needed the money, right? And we had it on the plastic
Yeah, the
table, and it was
plastic
too
table.
heavy, and it snapped.
Yeah.
And all of the work, it just like went, and we're just like,
It was crazy. But that's a memory for life.
it was a great memory. It was a great memory.
Not at the time, but it is now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, and then also with kind of like with you and the relationships, also developing brands, and
Yeah.
and a lot of times the people that you talk to are interesting people where it's not super. I mean, it's the brands that they choose really kind of a lot of times follow their personality, so it's
For
kind
sure.
of fun, right?
For sure, and that's another thing that Brett was pushing is, a lot of brands, they have someone that represents the brand, or is Gigg. A lot of people know Gigg as Scott Warner, right? But it's so much more than Scott Warner. But I, in many cases, am leading the charge, and so a lot of the initiatives, campaigns, brands I help build, people I consult, teach, train, whatever. I kind of want to let my hair down and let people in on the inside to what it is that we do over here, while at the same time learning from brand builders. You're a brand builder. You've done a lot of things, to build your brand. Trey's incredible when it comes to real estate and being smart as to what to invest in when it comes to real estate. He understands how to, market himself as being. You've probably seen Trey in 100 different commercials thus far, in different films or movies. But you built your brand, right? You are your brand. You wear your brand everywhere you go. But I get really fascinated by brand building and the story behind everyone's brand, both influencer and businesses. This day and age, those that run companies or are behind a company, they need to be out front. People are interested in that. Brands. If you look at, you look at Virgin, right? Virgin Records or Virgin Airplanes. Who's the guy behind it? Do you know who it is?
He's got great hair. He's an older guy.
Yeah,
Silver hair.
it's Richard Branson.
Yes.
Okay, what about Apple? Who's
Steve Jobs?
Well, Steve Jobs, and now it's Tim Cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are brands, but then there are the people leading the charge. And
Well, I have a quick question. What would you say is, maybe it's advice that you'd give people that are starting a brand, or what have you seen has gotten these companies that you've met that have been quite successful? What would you say that they all have in common, like certain attributes or work ethics that they have?
They've got hustle, they've got drive, and they've got a reason. So you need all that, but above all, they're branding themselves properly, and I think they're filling a need or offering a solution to. Businesses or brands are solutions to help people in life, or if you've read, I think it's Good to Great, is they talk about the milkshake. Why do people go and get milkshakes, right? Their reasons for going and getting milkshakes was actually very different than what the owners and brands thought. They had a great brand and they had a great product, but they figured out that it was the milkshake people were hiring to make the drive to work in the morning a lot more enjoyable. So they made the chocolate milk or the vanilla milkshake thicker so it lasted longer. People were going and getting milkshakes early in the morning and they couldn't figure out why. That was one of the reasons, and the other reason was dads like to take their kids to get milkshakes at night after work so they could spend time with them. Those are the reasons, right? If you were to ask most people what the reason is for getting a milkshake, it's probably just because I want something that's bad for me.
So there's a sentiment behind the
purchase?
Yeah.
So there's reasons behind it. There's reasons behind brands or businesses, but the brand or business is really being hired by someone to do something, to accomplish something. The food we eat, the clothes we wear, sometimes, the clothes we wear, it's not about being comfortable. It's about looking good. And if there's anyone that knows that, it's probably you and maybe me, according to Abercrombie.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So, but businesses are meant to solve problems, and that's I love learning about what solution they're providing. I love learning about how they build the brand to provide that solution.
And I think the people that you prefer to work, and I think you only work with, is something where you believe in it yourself. You don't sell your morals or whatever. You choose things that you actually think are providing value.
Yeah, that I would stand by. You're right. I think life is short. Focus on the things that you enjoy being a part of or want to work with. So, yeah, I am definitely selective with the brands that I spend time or choose to spend my time with.
This is the thing that's fun. I mean, it's not funny. It's not. I kind of talked about, people that we know younger, we see their personalities, and it's not a surprise that they chose the route that they took. For you love relationships. You've got a very strong moral compass. And you get passionate about things you believe in. And so it's like when you formed Gigg, it's like, well, this makes sense, right?
Yeah.
With you like to focus on what's working, the good in it. And how does that kind of like, I guess this could be a segue into Gigg. Like, what is Gigg?
Gigg is really a product or a platform to help get the word out about whatever it is that you want to tell the world about. Mm-hmm. So initially, as you know, set Gigg up for the music industry. The goal was to create a platform to help both mainstream artists and aspiring artists be more efficient or effective in getting the word out about a new single, a new album coming out, or an upcoming tour. And we built a machine to help call upon artists or bands' greatest marketing team. And who is a band's greatest marketing team? It's their fans.
Yeah.
So the fans are the ones that should be telling the story of the band, right? Like, especially in music. When it comes to music, I've mentioned this before, there really are 5 people that I trust when it comes to giving me, recommendations for music. Because I don't trust really anyone except for my 5. It's my siblings and my cousin Tyson. But, those are the people. When it comes to music, artists want their fans to do the storytelling, to get the word out. And so we built really fun ways to help tell the story.
That's the thing kind of me think, because I've known you for all 41 years. You love to create communities where people feel safe, comfortable, loved, and
appreciated,
you are doing
heard.
It in this.
Yes.
Right? And even in the business world, you love relationships. It's very special to you, and I love that about you.
Thanks, Trey. These are some of the nicest things that I've ever heard from my brothers. I appreciate that I've had this opportunity, Trey, to share this time with you, because these are very nice things.
You just ruined a good moment.
I'm serious. I appreciate this. I would embrace you right now. But going back to Gigg, the same rules apply with businesses. The same exact rules. If you want to get the word out about whatever you're pushing, whether it's a new product, a new app, a philanthropic initiative, a new song, a new film, it doesn't matter what it is, we will push it out to the masses in the most viral, engaging, and unique way.
I would also say efficient way as well.
Efficient, and help you really, really capitalize on reach and audience and community. So we have a system to help tell your story and build your brand in a more effective way than anything out there. That's who we are. That's what Gigg is.
It is interesting because I was always like, I invested a little bit in the company, right? And people ask what it does, and I just kind of I just talked to my brother. I trust in him to do what he's got to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun seeing you do it. You do this because when I saw you actually explaining it to people, I was like, this offers a very good solution. And Danny and I were kind of like, I just never paid attention.
That's the truth. A lot of times you don't really pay attention or ask questions to learn more about, what your buddy or brother or friend are doing. You just know they're handling business, right?
Yeah.
A lot of friends that have done the same thing. But it's been a lot of fun, man. And we're working with some incredible brands, global brands, and this year is going to be really interesting.
I actually agree with you.
It's going to be.
See you.
It's going to be fun.
Do some rad things because you've made a couple decisions with Gigg to kind of like for you to focus on what you love and what you do best.
Yeah.
Which is relationships.
Yep.
You prime the pump like no other, right?
Yeah.
You love to do that.
Yeah, it's been hard. Some of the
Yeah.
hardest years of my life.
But wouldn't you say that pain? I was talking about this in church. Like, is pain more important than joy? And the reason why is the pain creates the joy. It creates the value. It creates the appreciation.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 50-50, but sometimes for me, if we go back in our youth, not like we had a terrible youth. We had the greatest parents and wonderful things. We also had some difficulties, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think, we've talked about it a lot, like what if we did have everything we wanted? It's a totally different, I don't even want to know what I would be if I was a spoiled kid. I think I would probably have turned out to be the worst out of the 5.
No,
but
we already
you know what I'm talking about? It's like, would you agree that pain might even be more important than?
I think they both matter. But I think one's a better opportunity for growth, of course. Pain, some of the most painful moments in my life have led to the greatest moments.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why when we're talking about it's not like we were debating, but it's just like, dude, the suffering and the pain is the thing that's the story, right? We don't watch movies unless there is immense pain involved, right? Suffering or overcoming. We don't care. It's like we're all kind of living our own movie,
dude,
right?
Speaking of, do you know what movie I watched last night? And you told me to watch it forever ago.
Huh.
Is American Underdog. Oh my gosh, that movie is incredible.
Yeah,
the Kurt Warner story.
Yeah, the underdog is like, I prefer to be the underdog. Just because I have I'll say it, I have like a testimony of like being. I prefer that. Like there's no personal glory. It's not that I need the world to see my glory, but it's like there's something about when you're just getting kicked over and over again and you make it. You can have that moment when you're in the mirror and you're just like, dude. You can do hard things.
Everyone needs to want to be an underdog because being an underdog allows you to go and prove yourself right, and to go out and fight like hell to become what it is that you're working to become, right? And I think I have a lot of stories around this. I know.
I was going to say, we can edit it out, but it's like I have been on numerous phone calls with you well over a decade of like, you people don't know, like you're going through some pain and suffering and they don't know because you can put on a great show like, and smile and whatnot, but it's like you doing this company, taking on what you have. You've made poor choices, you've made great choices, but you have been through some hell, right? And I think what's great, actually, a girl asked me this one time. She said, tell me about your siblings. And the first thing I said with pride is outside of me, I said, all 4 of them, you could drop them in the deepest abyss of hell and they will claw their way out of it and they will make friends on the way out. And they'll bring them up. And
nice.
She was just like, and I didn't even have to think. That's the first thing that popped in my head. And I could just say with Gigg and things, it's like you have suffered.
It's been wild.
Yeah, and I think that's rad. And honestly, there are numerous times I think I said, Scott, just bankrupt the thing. Did I not? And it's like
you and quite a few others.
Yeah, because we love you, but you would not throw in the towel, even though when some of your loved ones that did trust in you, like, dude, you've done more than enough. There are no ill feelings, it's like, and you're still going. So
yeah, you gotta have a reason, you gotta have a why. Just to reference the movie I just watched, Kurt Warner, you couldn't tell him to stop, and he should have stopped a million times over. That guy, He knew what he wanted. He knew what he was going after. He knew why he was going after it. And
a lot of people don't know what outside of football, what type of man he was.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to watch it. Like Go watch the movie American Underdog. Wow, like
Stays
what?
true to his wife, who had a son that was disabled
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
It's like he could have
loved him.
That could have been a stepping stone, like
Yeah.
a lot of athletes are, where they make it big and then they ditch their home,
Yeah,
their home love or whatever.
yeah.
And he didn't, like, and she's a great, like, they're I love that team,
The dynamic
of
between the two.
the husband and wife.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
pretty amazing.
That's my favorite part of the film. The football is a byproduct of that, but I don't think he's doing that, having the success that he had, unless he was truly a great man outside of that. He would have still been a great man even if he didn't hit the NFL. So it's
Yeah.
just a byproduct of being a good man.
Yeah, it's being good always matters. But I'll tell you what, I teared up a number of times watching that show, and I couldn't help but apply my story to his. And there have been numerous chapters, great chapters and horrible chapters since I started Gigg. It's been about 10 years ago. Yeah. Some of the darkest moments of my life have taken place in the last 3 years, to the point where I literally felt like I was suffocating. I slept little to no hours during.
This is true.
But I had a reason, and it's about to get really fun. And we don't have enough time for this podcast, but the story of what led to this moment is pretty special. And but it came based on relentless, like, come hell or high water, knowing that I had to keep going. And I have so much respect for people that fail and fail and fail and fail and fail and fail and fail, but keep going, because those are the greatest stories. I could care less about hearing about someone's success when it comes to business. I just want to hear about their failures.
Yeah, and I would also say there's something very special about the significant other, right? I mean, like Mikkel being on your side, right next to you the whole time, having to sacrifice a lot, even your kids, and being a part of the vision, because it's like I think sometimes 51% of our successes comes from our partner, right?
Yeah.
Like our partner in crime, and I think Mikkel has done a wonderful job, where even sometimes I've wanted to knock you out, like because of how focused you've been sometimes. But I think she was pulling for the vision, and she knew what it would take. So I would like to point that out.
Yeah, she's been my greatest.
And I know you do too.
My greatest source of strength. That woman. I don't know how she does it.
Unicorn.
She's a unicorn.
Right.
She's one of the unicorn.
The Hot Matrix.
The Hot Matrix. Mm-hmm. She is a unicorn.
And I say that romantically. She's like a sister to me. She's a very wonderful. She really
is that girl that he talks about, that goes outside of the metrics or the graph, that they need to study her.
Yeah,
I remember when you
started dating her, she was so pure, right? The most pure. I mean, we were pretty pure, but she was
She's different. Like, she's different. That's why I asked her to marry me after 6 weeks of knowing her. I mean, come on, man, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, how many people out there are that crazy?
You guys were both in a good place to be able to execute.
I got lucky. I got so lucky. But thank you, and yes, Mikkel, she's my queen. Couldn't do it without her.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think it's going to be fun. I know you're going to get some rad people.
Yeah,
on this
it's going to be fun, man. I
can't wait to be in it.
Well, dude, this has actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. It's been more like sentimental, and like I thought we were going to be joking around a lot more, because that's what we do. Because we have a lot of fun together. But I appreciate you coming on this, man. I can't wait. I'm doing this, and I have some pretty amazing people on the docket. For podcasts, and trust me, this setting is not. It's not going to be this. It's actually going to be sweet.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some still shots.
Michelle, you got to go find the goods for this place. She's going to get a good setup for us. But this is my tagging. Back in the day, I learned to.
Well, here's the thing. This is I know that the people that you will come on, again, you select people where none of us are perfect. We're all grateful for the atonement, right? We love God, right? We are God-fearing men, and we're grateful for the atonement, because we ain't perfect.
No.
So it'll be fun. The people that you select, I think there's going to be a lot of sentimental things that happen. There's going to be a lot of struggles discussed because it's like, dude, we're all going through it right now. This is an interesting time in life.
Yes, it is.
And we need each other. We need to rally around each other and build each other up because I think there's a lot of work to do, and I think the world needs a lot of goodness, right? I think people need to remember what is most important.
Yeah, I agree. I can tell you that all the people that I have on the calendar on the docket to come and meet with me and talk, I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and I have a lot to learn from them. I mean, that's the thing is like I want everyone that's watching to be learning because we all need to be learning. If you're going to spend time listening to a podcast, you might as well be learning something that's important.
Haven't you learned that the more that we talk, the less that we learn?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I've done that life of always talking.
Well, yeah, most people do.
I'm not learning anything.
I
already know what I'm talking about.
That's right.
At least
that's
I
right.
think I do.
Yep. But I appreciate that. I forgot to bring you your favorite cereal, but your favorite cereal is what again? Fruity
Pebbles. Yeah. With vitamin D milk. If people knew, vitamin D milk is a far better move than skim milk and whatnot. Yeah. Like it actually.
Yes.
I love to eat good.
Yes. Anyway, thanks for being on, brother. And Trey will be a guest often here. And this is a more long form podcast, so but we appreciate you joining us. I don't have a name yet. Do you have any suggestions on a name? I mean, we can't. Maybe we call
just Gigg it.
That's good. Just Gigg it. Giggity Gigg. What about the Gigg?
Just Gigg about it.
What about it's called the Gigg?
Just Gigg about it.
Do you have a name for it, Michelle?
No, keep thinking.
No, I think you gotta sit on that, dude.
Anyway, if you have any idea,
good times. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Thanks for letting me be a guest interviewer.
Yeah, that was good. Well done.
Yeah.
Very bravo.
Until next time, watch what happens. It's gonna be magic.
Cheers.